Meaning and understanding my modeling application preferences. I've often commented to people that I realized at one point that I had inflicted my models on other people for a long time, making it almost impossible for them to understand the real meaning in the models that I had crafted. And then I realized that the best way to convey the meaning of a model was to unfold it as a story, so that one could watch the unfolding of the model and listen to the voiceover, similar to going to the movies and watching a play and seeing the relationships between the actors unfold. And at the end of the story, you understand what it means, because as Bateson said, it's the pattern that connects. And Insight Maker was the first environment that actually allowed me to do that in a meaningful manner, whether it be a qualitative or a quantitative environment. Now, Insight Maker was specifically designed between 2010 and 2015, I think, to provide an online web-based simulation environment, though with a very nice storytelling in feature, so that here's the 3 foundational models, and I can unfold this as a story with a description across the bottom of the pieces as they unfold, and actually interact with this model to change the way that the model acts based upon the variables. And one can simply walk through this and look at it, or you can do a voiceover to explain it. You can also do qualitative models to unfold. No, that's in the wrong window. Let me unfold this here in a new tab, so that this is the bird feeder story that I do on an ongoing basis, so that it simply unfolds this model piece by piece. And it happens that it's done with a storytelling feature that's very easy to define, and everything that's part of an Insight Maker model is all defined on one page. There aren't any other pieces. It's relatively simple, where all of the primitives are here and the transitions, or you can install the primitives with a right click and a step down. So it was designed as a simulation environment, and the rules were relaxed enough so you could do qualitative models, but it doesn't actually understand loops in a qualitative fashion the way I wanted to use for numerous models, such as this one. So I happened to connect with the Kumu developers, Jeff and Ryan Moore, and worked with them for several years, and ended up developing an environment that sort of the best of both worlds, in terms of it allows one to create a very fluid environment, so that you can craft a model very quickly, and you can then unfold that model either on the screen, or you can unfold it as a story. I don't think I did this one yet. Let me go to this one, so that while I could do this as a story this way, I could also do it with a presentation and unfold that presentation and do a voiceover piece by piece. And the environment in Kumu, I keep saying, is about as fluid as a pencil and paper in terms of creating the model itself. And to take a model and turn it into a story is something that happens in very short order, in almost any way that you possibly want to unfold it. The shortcoming of Insight Maker and Kumu both are they're not real-time multi-user. And if you want to create an environment where multiple people get to interact with the model, you can do them through a Zoom session and sharing the screen, and allow people to comment on it, and one person does all of the manipulation, though people feel more engaged if they're actually capable of interacting with the model in real time. So two applications, two environments that have shown up recently that allow us to do that are Causality and Sticky Studio. The fascinating aspect of Causality is, my hat's off to the programmer of this environment, because it understands how to identify loops when you create them, so that all of these connections, if you created another connection here and called it whatever, Untitled, and call this, all right, this is a solid line. If you create a loop, Causality knows it's a loop and it turns into running ants. And if you come over here, it shows you what the loops are, and you can turn them on individually, which is absolutely amazing. And this particular model, which I implemented in Insight Maker initially, and wanted to make sure that I had identified all of the loops, I found out that this model actually has, this is one I did in Kumu. There were 13 loops that I had identified in Kumu, and when I put it into Causality, I found out that there are actually 22 loops, and all of these loops I was not aware of. And if you're not aware of a loop, how can you evaluate whether or not it has a relevant impact on the behavior of the structure? And it gets even worse for this particular model called where is it? Start. This economics model. I implemented this in Insight Maker, Kumu, and when I finally put it into Causality, I found out that this model actually has 203 loops in it, which is absolutely mind-blowing, though they're there. And I know I have come to believe Causality because when I implement it in Insight Maker, it gives me the same number of loops. So it's a marvelous environment that just came on the market, I don't know, mid last year sometime, I think. And then the newest entry is Sticky Studio, which uses a sticky notes metaphor, and as I said, both Causality and Sticky Studio are multi-user, and you, in addition to simply being able to connect things, you get to put notes on the connections to actually identify what the relationship is, and in here you can actually have multiple discussions about the particular entity. You can't have discussions about connections, but you can have them about elements. And you can also allow users to vote on the individual elements so that it will tally relevance based upon the developers. And the added benefit or utility of Sticky Studio, because it was built by the Kumu people, you can export this and actually import it into Kumu and continue to evolve it and turn it into a story. So those are the 4 environments that I use on an ongoing basis. There are tons of other ones, though I have not found another one that is web-based, real-time, multi-user that understands loops and has a storytelling feature that allows me to readily unfold a model into a voiceover. So none of these actually fit all of those categories at the same time, though depending upon what I'm trying to do, they get me pretty close. So hope you found this of interest, and I'll see you. Oh, if you know of one that fits those categories, please let me know. So take care. I'll see you in another musing soon. Bye.